Okay, today we're doing order of operations and I forgot to press record. So we've already gone through some of them. I'll just scroll through. You can press pause on your video and check them, and then you can listen for the remainder of the lesson when we get there. Okay, so question 2 might have negatives, as I said. Most of the question 1, there's only one question that ended up having negatives. In question 2, so brackets, 4 minus 9 is negative 5. Then we do the multiplication. So here's the deal. We're subtracting 5 times negative 5. So you can take the subtracting there and treat the 5 as negative 5 if that makes it easier. So then you'll have, okay, in your head, negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So that means we're going to add 25. Okay, so you should end up getting 27. If you wanted to think about it as, oops, just a sec, I'm going to change this to red, as 2 minus 5 times negative 5, that would be 2 minus negative 25, which we reviewed last week, is 2 plus 25, which is 27. Okay, so I tend to use the subtracting, the sign in front of the number, as the sign of the number. So then when I do that multiplication, or maybe it's division, then it ends up being whatever operation we need. Okay, any questions on that? I hear some people sort of whispering and talking. Ask questions anytime. Okay, so next one, a negative divided by positive, remember, is a negative. 32 divided by 4, it goes in evenly. That's 8. So negative 8 plus, notice with that power on a negative. So that means negative 3 times negative 3. The squared is on the whole bracket. So that's positive 9. And then we're adding a negative, which to replace that with one single operation is subtracting. It's moving left on the number line, like we reviewed last week. So now, negative 8 plus 9 is positive 1, minus 1 is 0. Okay, so check those because you were doing those ones on your own, those 3. Then we're going to turn over and do a few more harder ones. Okay, some are harder, some are maybe a little bit easier. Same order of operations. So take a look here. This is a fraction. So really it's like having big brackets. We've got to do all of that numerator before we can think about dividing by negative 3. So within that, we've got a smaller set of brackets. It's square. Within that, we have another set, but take a look. That 2 is just a 2. It's already done. So within those square brackets, we're going to do that multiplying first. So that's going to be 5 plus 4. And you just keep copying out everything else that you haven't dealt with. Okay? Don't just put part of your answer down. You're going on to 10C. 10C goes to 20-1, 20-2. You have to show proper solutions. Okay, those courses are leading to, if you want to go to university, maybe, that kind of thing. So you can't just skip steps, even if you get the correct answer. There are some questions on a test, for example, where you're just going to give me the answer, but then some you're going to show the work. So here we still have to finish those square brackets. So that's 9. I'm going to change them to round brackets just because there's no other ones. Okay, still got to
If we
finish.
do that range,
Now
also
we
we
have,
make surnames A, B, and C go to the stage area throughout the Z hallway. Thank you.
now we have that multiplication there. So that's going to be 3 plus 18. Still got to finish the numerator. That's 21. And now we can divide 21 by -3 and get -7. So lots of steps for that. So check through your work. Remember, the solutions to these are posted in D2L. So you can certainly check them later if you need to. Lots of brackets here again, 2 sets. Again, do not add 2 plus 5. We were talking about that before. So we have to just copy that out. Copy what's inside, then the round brackets. 15 minus 17, well, that's -2. Remember, 15 is to the right of 0. If we're going to the left, 17, we have to cross back over into the negatives. So then again, we have to finish those big brackets, and that's a multiplication. So that's where I think about it as, okay, that's +2 times -2 is -4. So it's going to be 3 minus 4. If you want to show it as adding a negative, you get the same answer. And now 3 minus 4, that's going to be -1, not +1, right? If you have $3 and I want $4 from you, you're going to be in debt or in the negative in your bank account, which you can actually go in the negative, but they charge you money if you go in the negative. So 2 minus 5, when I multiply that out, is -3. Next one's got lots of things to do, but again, treat the numerator separately from the denominator. Okay. Inside brackets there, 8 minus 12 is -4. -1 plus 5 is +4. In the denominator, there's an exponent, so do that. Remember, -2 in brackets squared is +4. And if you want to keep those brackets, you can. You don't have to, because I added them in anyway, right? These here, if I make them in red, that was what, oops, if I make them in red, I just put them in afterwards to help remind you that you're doing brackets first. So then I've got multiplication and multiplication before I do adding. So -12 plus 16. Okay. And again, you can keep the brackets or not. 4 minus 2 is 2. And then do that final adding. -12 plus 16 is +4 over 2. That's a fraction, but it's really the same as division. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So yes, you could show it as 2 over 1, but that's not in simplest form. We don't need to show the 1 in the denominator. Okay. And F is just a reminder about squaring negatives. So look at the difference in this one. There's no brackets around that -5. So that 2, so if I show this out bigger, that squared only refers to the 5, not the negative. That's different from the -4 squared, where that squared refers to all of the bracket. So that is -4 times -4. This is -5 times 5. Okay, so when I do this question, that's going to be -25 plus 16. And then that's just positives there. 3 squared is 9. Then adding and subtracting, -25 plus 16, that's -9, plus 9 is 0. That actually works out to be 0. Okay. So question 3, state a single mathematical expression that represents each statement, then evaluate. So we're converting words to a math statement and then figuring out the answer. So 7 is multiplied by 5. So 7, I'm going to use that middle dot to mean multiplying here. You can use a multiplication symbol. There's no variables here, so that's okay. Or you could use brackets. Notice how there's a comma there. So that means we're multiplying. Then 9 is subtracted. So now we're going to subtract 9 from that. Okay. So in a word statement, you want to look for those commas. Commas mean often a separate term or maybe brackets. Yep. Do you want to give the answer? Okay. Do you want to give the answer? Is that what you had your hand up for? Okay. You have a question? Okay, ask it. F? No, that's what I was talking about over here, right? So there's no brackets on -5, so that means that it's -5 times 5. It's different from having brackets. Yeah, so be careful on that. It's going to be, it's like if we had 0 minus 5 squared, right? The only thing different there is that we have a 0 in front, and that would be 0 minus 25, which is -25. If it has brackets, then for sure it's positive. So yeah, just be careful on that one. Okay, so B, a garage charges $30 to do an inspection. Sorry, I'm just waiting for that. Okay, garage charges $30 to do an inspection of your vehicle and $65 per hour for any work done. They determine you need 4 hours of work done. So basically, you've got to figure out the total cost of that. So, going to be $30 no matter what. Okay, then plus, because they never take off money when you get your car done, so they're adding $65 per hour times 4 hours. Okay, so got to do that multiplication first. Yeah, question? Quickly, sign out on your way, please. Okay, so 65 times 4. If you want to use your calculator for that, you can. But think of 60 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Add a 0 is 240. Plus 5 times 4 is 20. So 260. So that's going to be, and this is money, 280. What did I just do wrong? 240 plus 20. Yeah, now it's going to be, total is going to be 290. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then at the end, I don't keep the dollar sign through my work. I just put it in at the end. And really, you could even do a little statement because it's a word problem. Although in this, we're not going to get into statements quite yet till later on in the course. Okay. And C, an elevator is currently on the ground floor. The elevator descends at a rate of 2 meters per second. So descends means going down. It goes, usually they go up and down at the same rate. Show an expression that will calculate the height of the elevator 10 seconds ago and evaluate. Okay, so think about it. So it's on the ground, descends at a rate of 2 meters per second. Where was the elevator 10 seconds ago? Just give me the answer. Figure it out in your head first. How many meters? So put your hands up because I don't know your name. 20 meters up, exactly. Because then it goes 2 meters per second, descends, and ends up on the ground floor. Okay, so you can, there's different statements for doing this. You can say if we're starting on the ground, then 10 seconds ago, it descends at the rate of, descends would be negative of 2 meters per second. So that would be 0 plus 20 is 20 meters high. Okay, that would be one possible statement. Or you could go 10 times 2 and just get 20 because you've figured that out in your head. Okay, but obviously it was up high and descends for 10 seconds and ends up on the ground floor. Yes?
Oh, but like in the sense. So
Correct. No, because it was 10 seconds ago. Where was it? That's what it was asking. So then it must have been higher. So it was descending to get down to the ground floor. Right? Make sense? Yeah. Because this is a go. You're waiting for the elevator basically. And where was it 10 seconds ago? It was up high. Okay. All right. So take a look in your booklet. You will see then, so we've done the lesson together. You'll see a practice page. It's 2 sides, and then you'll see one puzzle and one set of more order of operations. Really important that you try to do all of these. It's expected for 10C that order of operations is A-okay. Okay? Our next topic, well, not our next, tomorrow is decimals and fractions, but the next day is, or Friday is solving equations, which actually, to solve an equation, you do the opposite order of operations. So we have to have this sort of down pat. So you're going to work quietly on this. You're going to ask me questions. You can listen to music if you want on your phone, using your earphones or buds or whatever. But make sure this is going okay. I'll put up the solutions in a bit. If you have access to D2L on your phone, you can look at the answers yourself. Okay? So there is an app that you can do for that.